Thank you. Did you ever have one of those moments in your life when suddenly all your questions are answered? The sky opens, the sun shines, the clouds part. For the first time, you can see what's important and what choices you need to make. Did you ever have a moment like that? Neither have I. And that's why I've always felt close to the platypus. A living symbol of total confusion. He's part duck, part beaver, part fish. He's the only mammal in the world that lays eggs. He's got one foot in the present, one flipper in the past. He just can't make a commitment. In other words, he's just like most people living in the 90s. So if you're confused by nature and you can't make up your mind, it's nice to know there's somebody swimming in a river that's even more screwed up than you are. Woke up this morning and I rolled out of bed, ran my shower, took a bath instead. Pulled out the drive at 9:45, thought it all over and pulled back in. Looked at the bedroom, made my way, went back to sleep. It was a typical day. I'm the platypus man. Platypus man. When your head's cut in two, when your heart's cut in half, all you can do is throw your head back and laugh. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, damned if you will, damned if you won't. Embarrassed to win, ashamed to lose. I'm just like a hooker in sensible shoes.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Mr. Ricard, Jeni!
All right. Stop. Quit it. All right. Hey, stop. What if I suck? Wouldn't that be embarrassing? All right, listen, before I say anything and get into the show, I just want to point out that if you're out in the audience and you're thinking about getting into comedy, you have just seen the best reason to do it. A whole band playing for no reason except you happen to be walking in. Isn't that a great feature of a job? I mean, wouldn't that cheer up your job? Every time you do some little bullshit thing in the office, boom, a whole band kicks in. You're hanging in the office, hey, I think I'll take these papers over to the Xerox machine, get them copied, you know. Looks like it's broken, better head back. Hey, thank you. I'm the receptionist. You've been a great office. I'll be here all week. So anyway, my name is Ricard, Jeni. I'm from New York, where our slogan is, show me a guy with 1 foot, and I'll show you a guy who tried to hide his money in his shoe. All right. Last time I was in New York was for the Democratic Convention. Yes, a bunch of people from all the different states bragging about Mr. Chairman, the great and wonderful state of Tennessee. And I was home in front of the TV going, shut up. I've been there, come on. That's the trouble with the convention is they brag so much that it gets really boring. I think the political conventions would be a lot more fun if they would just, send up like the worst guy from the state, and be funny. They go, the chair recognizes the state of Mississippi. And they just sent out the fattest redneck in suspenders. Mr. Chairman, Mississippi, state slogan, you'll never be lonely as long as your sister's home state is proud to cast all of its southern votes doo-dah. Just be funny about it. The chair recognizes the state of Florida. Florida? Hola, Senor Chairman! Fellow delegates! Florida, the cocaine, alligator, and mosquitoes as big as your fucking sister's state! Just to show you I'm not being cheesy, my own hometown. We just chair recognizes New York. State of New York. Hey, Mr. Chairman! Fellow delegates! the fuck are you looking at, state? Was gonna cast all of its votes right now, but like usually happens in New York, some lowlife stole half of the fucking votes. I don't know how it happened. We had them last night. The contractors had the key. Let God be the judge. I don't know. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I don't do a lot of political jokes, you know, because I don't really watch the news, to be honest with you. Because I live alone in a big house, and the 11 o'clock news is way too scary. The 11 o'clock news makes The Exorcist look like a Disney short. You know, I'm all alone in that house at night, man. You know, and I got one of these houses. Anybody's house make these weird Stephen King noises at about midnight? I was be laying in bed all alone, and the roof suddenly goes. What the hell was that? Gonna check it out? Definitely not. Why not? Because I got pajamas on, that's why. What if there is a guy on the roof with a hockey mask and a chainsaw? You can only be so tough in pajamas. What are you gonna do, jump out on that roof, kick off the slippers? All right, asshole. Looks like you got the wrong roof. Yeah, it's a hairnet, what about it? I don't want to watch the news alone in a house. I want to watch happy stuff such as the National Geographic Show. A great show with a great theme song. Dun, 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 dun. If you hear that, you'll know it the rest of your goddamn life. Don't laugh, you're screwed. You all know it right now. Check it out. 1, 2, 3. And now on National Geographic, let us join Jacques Cousteau for a typical episode where he remains safely on deck. And no one seems to notice that they're the ones getting their ass bit off by this week's giant ocean beast. He's so cool, Jacques. He's like getting a tan. You know, he's driving. The Calypso pulled up into an unbelievably dangerous area. I looked through the binoculars and knew we were in the area of a dangerous animal. The giant, electrified horny toad exploding. Bad-smelling, saber-toothed, poisonous, lesbian, bulimic squid. Needless to say, I was shitting a brick. Someone had to dive down and poke him in the ass with a turkey baster for scientific purposes. Well, I'll be goddamned if I was going down in that water at my age. I didn't get to be 175 fucking with a giant squid. And so when my son wasn't looking, I snuck up, kicked him in the water, gunned the engine, and took off like a bat out of hell. Be with us next week when he will give an enema to a giant sperm whale. I will remain on deck, seeing that the croissants do not get too well done. Then they crank up the theme music, which is... So join us, won't you? As we follow... Thanks. As we follow the platypus. That's a real animal I saw one night. They had the platypus on. I was laying in my bed, chomping popcorn. House. Watching the Geographic show. On comes the platypus. The platypus is the only animal in the world that's a mammal but lays eggs. He has a tail like a beaver and a bill like a duck, but he's neither one. And I was going, wow, this animal is really messed up in the brain. So I kept watching, turn up the volume. They said the platypus lives alone. It has very short legs. It eats late at night and can't even see its food. And I went, wow, this animal is me. I'm Platypus Man. They should put me on the National Geographic show. The adventures of a totally confused, short-legged night feeder. And this would be adventure number 1, just trying to fall asleep in that bed with the house. And then I make the big mistake sometimes and put on the news. I told you, it's the worst. They should just call it the bad news. They should be honest. Come on television and go, good evening, here's the bad news. Every bloody, disgusting thing that happened today, press into a half an hour right before you go to bed. If you thought you were scared before, you'll soil your pajamas when we bring out our anchorman, Grim Carnage. Grim, tell him the bad news. Well, the anchor guy should just have like a robe and a sickle. He just pop right out. Good evening, I'm the anchor guy. It's 11 o'clock. Here's who's dead. Thank God the meteorologist comes on. He'll put you to sleep. He's sleep-inducing, isn't he? I'm Bob, the meteorologist. Let's go look at some weather that's not happening anywhere near where we live. What for, Bob? Let's go to the map. Let's go to the map. And I'm laying in bed going, what's not? Want to know the weather? Here, let's go to the map. Come on. Let's go to the window. Why are we going to the map? I don't understand the map. Why are we at the map? You know, I always feel like an idiot when he goes to the map. I don't know what's going on. He might as well have a rat colon on the map. I have no idea what's on the map. Come on, we're at the map. Pay attention, this is really important. Okay, you see this massive glob of white shit that you don't even understand hanging out in the middle of the ocean where nobody even lives? Well, if this thing goes this way to a place you're not going, heads this way over a lot of people that you could give two shits about, and then settles in this section that you haven't even heard of, well, a bunch of dairy animals could experience dew. I'm Bob, the meteorologist. You know, so I'm laying there, you know. Shut up, Bob. You're the weatherman. If he was a meteorologist, what would he talk about? That's what I've always said. And it would be a short report. How much could the guy say? Here's Bob, the meteorologist. He'd go, haven't seen any. Back to you. Totally clear out there. No meteors, no asteroids, no Klingons. Fabulous night for space travel if ever I've seen one. Just get in that rocket and party down. Back to you, Grimster. Take it away, Grim. Well, thank you for that meteor update, Bob. While you were on, other people died. Here's a bulletin from New York. A gang has dug up a murdered nun and killed her again. And now let's go down to Texas, where our reporters are attempting to make a tragedy victim cry on the air. Always, right? Bad enough, the guy is 80 years old and he's in the middle of the highway and his boxer shorts all confused. Got wiped out in the flood, you know. His house is floating away. Do they feel sorry for the guy? Do they help him? No. They're running after him like mice. Sir! Sir! Completely fucked. Any comment? You don't have shit, sir. Any comment? Poor guy's crying. Just once, I wish the guy was drunk when they interviewed him, you know? And he didn't care. Totally confused, the news guy. You know, he's been slamming wild turkey since his house blew away. He could give a shit, you know. Any comment? Hey, fuck off, I feel great. Really? Nah, a thing like this gets you out of the house. I think the couch looks much better in the gas station. How about yourself? You know, with the bunk beds on either side of the highway, the kids aren't fighting as much. So you don't care? Not in the least. What are your plans? I'm going to Disneyland.